So we are at the time when we traditionally stopped, but I do want to just give a couple minutes because we get people from a lot of corners of the world, but it looks like we've got Irene right now, who is an atheist in Russia, and that's not a place we hear from a lot.
Sure.
So I'm going to give just add a few extra minutes to the show. How are you, Irene?
Hey, do you hear me?
Yes.
We do.
Oh, that's great. Oh my God. I'm fine. We're freezing here. It's +5 by night, so we're really freezing. It's 2 a.m., so I've been waiting for quite a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have to keep it short because the show's close to over.
Yeah,
but
sure. It's like, does it really exist that I've never heard of a Russian family disowning a child just because he's an atheist, except maybe for those like religious freaks who lock themselves, underground waiting for the end of the world. So, and I've heard a lot, watching your show that it does really happen. I mean, what do they say? I know you didn't have such an experience, but what do they say? It's like, we don't love you anymore? Or like, how come you can disown your own child just because, for any reason? In Russia, it's still way easier to come out as an atheist than a gay person. That's true, but I can't understand either of that. What do they say? What do they do? It's like, no, sorry, God is more important to us than you? Or like, how come it can happen?
I guess, in my experience of talking to atheists who have been disowned, it's not so much like the parents have a reasoned explanation of why they're kicking somebody out as they just basically say, I've failed you as a parent, your eternal soul is lost, I hope you'll come back to the church someday, but if you keep saying these terrible things, I can't have you in my house anymore. So they would likely kind of push off the blame to the person and say, I don't want to kick you out, but I have no choice because you have such bad beliefs.
Or that I was commanded to raise you in such a way, and you're turning away from that. And if you want to live under this roof, you're going to live by these rules.
Yeah,
and
so an ultimatum.
Right, and that includes going to church and professing your belief and praying with us every day and X, Y, Z. And so it can become quite serious. It just depends on people's beliefs, depending on what sect of religion they come from. It can be a very serious burden for the parents to make sure that their offspring believes the same way that they do. And I have friends on my timeline now that, they just had babies very recently, and the first thing on their post, is thank God for, I have a child now, and I hope to, raise them as a God-fearing individual like that. It's just, it's the way it can come with it.
Yeah, it's just like some crazy people. Okay, and like the other short question, do they try to capture the land? Because in Russia, there are a lot of churches that are trying to, I don't know how to say it properly in English, to capture the land, just, we like this very piece of land, so we want it. You can build a church wherever you want to. There are a lot of abandoned, places, abandoned areas in Moscow. I'm from Moscow, near Moscow. They just want this very piece of land because it's better and they like it better, so they're capturing it and they're trying to do it, and they destroy the parks sometimes. They just capture it and they just build a church, a guest house, and it's theirs afterwards. Doesn't happen in the U.S.
We definitely have a large...
Sure, churches try to take over as much as they can here.
But not only they don't pay taxes, but in Russia they also just build those things and they keep on growing, and they really capture the land, and they just fight with people. We have a lot of fights. We make video. We're trying to protest, so we go and they're when you're not there during the night, they just destroy everything and they just build a church very quickly.
Whoa, that's really devious.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's really interesting, though. One of the reasons I wanted to squeeze in your call at the last minute is because I feel like I do not have a good picture of what life as an atheist is like in Russia. I think a lot of Americans have a stereotype still from the 50s that Russia is all communist, and that hasn't been true for a while, but also that communists are godless. And so one of the things that American politicians would threaten people with in the 50s, and maybe even continuing to the present day almost, is that, what do you want to be like those godless Russians over there? What is the religious landscape like where you live? Do you think a lot of people are Christians now? Is that old stereotype still true?
It's a kind of like, I need to call back,
Okay.
To describe it like more thoroughly. But no, there are a lot of kind of religious. It's like, I was born and I was raised as Catholic, like a lot of my friends say. Like foreign friends, Russians say, yeah, I was kind of, raised as a Christian, Orthodox Christian, but they're, de facto, they're not like really believers. They're not deists. They're not theists. Maybe there's something. So they wear this like crucifixion, but they don't, give a damn basically about it. They don't go to church. It's not that important in Russia nowadays. And you have those religious groups, but it's not that bad. Like, I've been listening to you for a while. In the US, it seems like a nightmare. Like, you don't get fired. Nobody gives a damn, at work. Nobody's even interested in. Nobody asks you. They ask, like, ain't you gonna have, like, kids, in the nearest future? I was asked personally, just, because those things, maternity leave, blah, blah, blah. But nobody's interested, actually, even, except for those, like, several groups. So it's not that bad. And
I've got to make sure that you and our international listeners understand that it really depends a lot on where in the United States you live, because we're here in Texas, but we happen to be in one of the one of the most relaxed cities in Texas, I would say, but Texas is one of the worst states as far as like having a pushy religious culture. Whereas if you go hang out with people who come from like New York or California or Seattle, a lot of them, those are some of the least religious places in the country, and they are a lot like what you're describing.
So in Russia, it's not that, but there's still a lot of religious people, but they're not pushing. They do go to church, but we're not communists here anymore, and like not a lot of us there. There's another group, we do have some religious groups. Also, we have like some communist groups. They're like just crazy people, just in another group. But overall, we're neither communist nor religious people, basically just something like closer to neutral.
Well, we are over time, but I'm really glad I took your call. I appreciate your insights, Irene, and call back anytime.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yeah, I will try to get you. Thanks a lot. I'm so glad.
Okay.
Great.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.